This is the gaming channel, and here I am with another video, and this time it's going to be on LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. It's a video I've wanted to do for a while, and I just want to talk about what extra levels need to be included in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga to make it more complete. As we know, the original LEGO Star Wars games, LEGO Star Wars video game, LEGO Star Wars 2, and then the Complete Saga, had a lot of levels based on scenes from the films, from the Skywalker Saga films. A lot of the great occurrences, a lot of the great scenes were included. Many of the scenes from the Skywalker Saga had levels created for them in the LEGO games. LEGO Star Wars video game, LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, and LEGO Star Wars the Complete Saga. Unfortunately, some scenes from the Skywalker Saga did not make the cut. However, some of the scenes I'm going to mention are going to be in levels in the game, as we saw in the latest gameplay trailer for LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Starting with Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, we have the Tribal Bongo scene with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan and Jar Jar Binks, and they are travelling through the ocean, and a number of sea creatures appear. They're trying to avoid them, they're trying to get away from them, and it'd be good to see this as a level or as part of a level in the game, and it's clear that it is going to be in the game because it was in the latest gameplay trailer, so that's good to see. I'm hoping that we get to see all the creatures that we saw in that scene, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it will turn out gameplay wise. Maybe they'll have a few fun cutscenes. Maybe we'll hear Qui-Gon say,
"There's always a bigger fish."
Moving on to the second scene I want to talk about. This again is in the Phantom Menace, and it is when the Royal Starship, so Padme's Royal Starship, or Queen Amidala's Royal Starship, it's when the Starship is escaping from the Trade Federation with the astromech droids, and everyone's on board, you know, and they end up on Tatooine. I feel like that could be a good scene to put in a level, and they very well could. You know, they could create a good like space battle. Have the astromechs there, you know, maybe you play as R2 and you're trying to fix the ship so they can escape. Next, we move on to yet another scene from the Phantom Menace, and it is the droid control ship space battle, where we have Anakin in his Naboo starfighter, and he's with the Naboo pilots facing off against the Trade Federation. And then Anakin ends up in the droid control ship, and then he blows it up from the inside. It was cut from LEGO Star Wars the video game, but it was put back in LEGO Star Wars Complete Saga so you can play it. But it'd be great to see it again with the modern graphics and just to see it reimagined, you know. I think it'd be fun to play. It may be included with the Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul scene, and even Battle of Naboo, but then there's meant to be 5 levels in the game, so we'll have to see, but because there'll be 5 levels, they'll definitely put, I think, multiple scenes together in the same level, I would have thought. Then we've also got the Gungans versus Droids, which is happening at the same time on Naboo. Like I say, that would just be fun, I think. I feel like it could be fun to use the Gungans' weapons and their shields. That's another one that should be included, really, because in LEGO Star Wars the video game, we only see the start of that battle, which is presented in a cutscene, and then you sort of see the Gungans and droids face off briefly. Then it cuts to Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan by Theed Palace, and that's the level you end up playing, where they're going through Naboo and getting into Theed Palace. The final scene from the Phantom Menace, which I want to talk about, which should be included, is Qui-Gon versus Maul on Tatooine. Now, I'd love to see that. Of course, it was a brief duel, so you can understand why they cut it from LEGO Star Wars the video game and didn't bother to include it in the Complete Saga, because at the end of the day we still get to face off against Maul in the final level. But I don't know, I think it'd be interesting to see. Maybe it could be included as part of the Mos Espa pod race level. They could be put together, and yeah, you can just have a fun duel with Qui-Gon against Maul, or maybe even put a fun twist on it, because usually you have to have 2 characters who you can play as. Maybe Anakin is helping out, and he might help out in the duel instead of running to the ship. They might even bring in Tusken Raiders, and you have to defeat Tusken Raiders as well, so they could make it a big affair, or maybe not, but yeah, I think it'd be good to see. And now we move on to Attack of the Clones, and I'm pretty sure there's only one scene, really, which didn't get included as part of a level, which really should have been, which is the asteroid field chase. That scene with the seismic charge sound effect. Yes, I know, bliss. It is definitely one of the best sound effects in Star Wars, for sure. And yeah, I honestly think the asteroid field chase is one of the highlights of Attack of the Clones. The asteroid field chase was also included in the gameplay trailer, which means we should be getting that in the film too, which is great. And of course they included the seismic charge sound effect because that's what we wanted. That's what we want. We just want loads of those, nothing else. But no, you know, we want the asteroid field chase. Then we move on to Revenge of the Sith, and we've got Yoda versus Sidious, and we also know that's going to be in the game because it was in the gameplay trailer, the latest one. And yeah, it's just a shame it wasn't included in Lego Star Wars video game, but you know, they were only able to include 6 levels in that film, for that film, so there you go, eh? I suppose it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, because usually you have to have 2 characters, but maybe not, maybe you won't have to, I don't know. I suppose there were those constraints because at the end of the day, Yoda alone was facing Sidious. I'm looking forward to playing that one. It'll be quite something, I think, especially when the duel moves to the Senate chamber itself. Oh god, that should be fun with the Senate pods, I would have thought. And then we've also got Mace versus Sidious, and I feel like this was a level or that could have possibly been included in the video game or was part of the development process. I could be wrong, but I feel like it popped up somewhere in the process or was cut. But that should be good too, and to see those cutscenes in Lego form, oh gosh, damn, yeah, that should be quite the experience. And then the final scene from Revenge of the Sith is the Order 66 scene, with Anakin storming the Jedi Temple, the Jedi getting killed. I mean, I suppose it could be interesting if we go to those different planets that we see in the film in that sequence. Maybe just get to play as those characters and in battles, perhaps. I don't know, I'm not sure. Maybe or play as the clones. I don't know. It might just be. To be fair, they might just be in cutscenes, and then we get to play as Anakin and actually, well, kill some Jedi and kill some younglings. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, we should be able to do that. I mean, it's Lego. It should be fine, yeah. Should be able to do that. We could have boss battles in that level. We could have the Sintra boss fight that we saw in the Revenge of the Sith video game, maybe. But I'm not sure. I mean, or we could just have random boss fights, or you never know. We could end up seeing Shakti, killing her again. Because there was that cutscene at the end of the Jedi Temple level in Lego Star Wars the video game where there's a hologram of Anakin killing Shakti. And then we move on to A New Hope, and we have Obi-Wan versus Vader, which in Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy and the Complete Saga, you see both of them dueling each other when you're playing through the Death Star level. In free play, Vader is just there on his own, and then you can open the door and fight him. I mean, it's not a proper boss battle. I think he only has 2 hearts, 2 lives, but you still get to face him, whereas you just see them continuously dueling in the story mode version of the level. But it'd be great if we could actually have the battle fully fleshed out, maybe even go along the lines of Scene 38 reimagined, so it's different to the film, you know, adds more to it, makes it more fun, just makes it a better experience to play through in Lego form. I wouldn't be surprised if that's incorporated into, say, the Death Star level where you're playing as Luke, Han and Leia and Chewie. I wouldn't be surprised if it's part of that and it switches between the two, perhaps like with how newer Lego games do switch between scenes, like Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, and I think Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens does it as well. And then we come to Return of the Jedi. So yes, the only film I haven't mentioned here is Empire Strikes Back. It basically had all the action scenes included as levels, really. You know, it had everything you wanted included as levels. So it doesn't really need anything else. But it'll be interesting to see what those levels are like in the Skywalker Saga and how different they are, regardless. Anyway, we move on to Return of the Jedi, and we have Luke versus Vader and Sidious. And we are definitely getting that anyway, because, well, we got it in Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, and the Complete Saga, where you play as Luke and Vader against Sidious, which was a twist on the actual scene from the film. A variation of the level is present in Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens as well. We know it's going to be in the Skywalker Saga as well because it is part of a cutscene, you could say, in one of the earlier trailers for the game. It would be different though if you could actually duel Vader instead, because on most of the platforms you had to face Sidious. It was you and Vader versus Sidious because they had to make that work, the 2 character system work. So make Sidious the boss and it's you and Vader. It makes sense, based off of the scene as well and what happens. At the end of the day, we want to be able to face Vader in a proper boss battle. and then face Sidious. They should be great. I imagine they will be great. But we'll see, we'll have to find out, see how it all turns out. Regardless, I am very much looking forward to playing LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga when it eventually comes out. There are all the extra levels or scenes which I want to see included as part of levels in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this and other types of gaming content, as well as the odd bit not related to gaming. And that is all.